Warm welcome to this week's edition of Yilungelo, Lakho. It's your ride. Sinilethela ke uhlelo mamba phambili SABC 1 Mzansi for sure naku SABC Lakho futhi sikhona naku SABC Plus. Mina ngiyabe kunene ngingiSimphiwe Ncongwane. Mbukeli, are you dreaming of an overseas job? For so many young South Africans and across the continent, that dream has turned into a nightmare. From fake cruise ship contracts to TikTok modeling scams, traffickers are now targeting desperate young job seekers like never before.
Money email from the girls bizango John Thomas wanchazela ku email ukuthi money profile yami truly pinhead. So kupinhead nanenza ukuthi ngibe visible kuwo wonke ama recruiters.
Ba information ngalomsebenzi uzayifumana kanjani andiyazi.
He took me to a room and told me frankly that you have come here to scam people and I have already bought you.
Namhlanje bekunene siyabuta ke lihleleni ukuthi ke uvikeleke kangakanani ebungodini bemisebenzi yangaphandle lesiwabona ke kuma social media. Just safe, how safe are we from those tempting overseas jobs? Let's find out. And now to discuss some of the red flags and the steps that you need to take, let's welcome Mashaile, a retired Interpol ambassador and security strategist. Zakhele Mgobhozi, he's the president of APSO, APSO, a federation of staffing organizations. Gentlemen, very good afternoon to you.
Sawwana,
Siapila, thank you so much for joining us, and I would love both of you to comment on the vox pops that we've seen on some of the viewer sentiments. Now, Mashaile.
Umuntu nagathi they took me into a room and told me that your job is to scam here and you have already been bought. That says Simphiwe. That says that particular person is now a property of an organized crime syndicate dealing in cyber crime. Myself as an expert in cyber security and cyber crime prevention, when you are told that you are here to scam, it means one thing. It means South Africans will be losing 4.2 billion as it has happened in the last 3 years. And this year, 2025, the whole world lost to cybercrime 10.5 trillion US dollars. And out of this whole experience is the pain of a man who cannot reach home, whose passport has been taken, whose cell phone has been taken, whose family does not know where he is. Yeah. And we will just shoot from the hip and say, Simphiwe and Zakes operate from zero trust. I operate from zero trust. Never trust anyone online. Never post yourself when you go on holiday and say, I am by this beach or that beach. There are people who are specifically sitting in a room like this in India, Simphiwe. They operate like the production room there. You see those screens there. There are such screens in India. These people come in on a daily basis, harvest information that has been retrieved from the data breaches that we have experienced. Yeah. Your TransUnion data breach of some 3 years back, where 54 million names were stolen, including the 11 million names that were stolen from your Home Affairs. So these are some of the issues. You and I receive a phone call from some foreign place that we don't know, being told that we have won a trip on a cruise ship to Maldives, the most beautiful. You'll own the island. Send us your particular details. Further, stealing your identity to commit further crimes in many parts of the world.
Yo, those are harrowing stats. I mean, 11 million names that have been stolen, but we'll get to that in a moment. Mgobhozi, what's your thoughts on this?
Simphiwe, when we look at the unemployment rate, unemployment rate here, it's really, really ridiculous. Yes. But we all know the state of the country. And then when there's opportunities that have been placed, which is overseas holidays, which is overseas jobs, we don't think of much. We just get too excited that, I'm actually leaving the country, I'm going. But what we do not see here, it's twofold. So here's an opportunity to work overseas, but there's also a risk.
Yeah.
There's a risk. But what most people don't understand is that, in order for yourself to prevent, for being exposed to vulnerability, there's a lot of data checks, which is why us as APSO, the African Professional Staffing Organization, is there to actually assist job seekers and preventing them from such things.
Okay. Do you gentlemen think, Gutsi, the spike in the number of human trafficking cases is as a result of so many South Africans not knowing that the human trafficking scourge is actually here? Ngoba nawucabanga human trafficking ucabanga emaveni, foreign countries, and not knowing that it is actually here, right here with us. Would you attribute that to, such ignorance?
Lack of ignorance, lack of knowledge will see my people perishing. And lack of knowledge in our country sees young people between the ages of 18 and 22 being victims of scams like the Alabuga Start program. You go over there, you're going to end up manufacturing hand grenades, and you are going to be forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement. These are serious issues. Human trafficking in the world, Simphiwe, has gone very high. In the region, SADC region, we are number 1. And we are also with the high levels of human trafficking. And we are also a transit point, not only a transit point for trafficked people all over the world. We are also a source country, like we have seen the 22 people that were rescued from Thailand around May by DERCO. And we can tell you only in 2023, there were 250,000 South Africans who were victims of human trafficking. 144,000 still in the wilderness. I hope and pray that this show helps people to come through and we identify those 144,000 that are still in the wild out there, so that we can then advise law enforcement agencies to get our brothers, our sisters back home.
Absolutely. Now, Zakhele, just take us through APSO, the organization yenu, yendani, and how do people benefit from using a recruitment agency? A legit recruitment agency, that is.
Thank you so much for saying legit recruitment agency. Because we are now. So the APSO is actually a federation of African professional staffing organizations. What do? We basically represent reputable recruitment companies and making sure that we professionalize the recruitment industry, not for us, but for job seekers and also for the clients who are verified to post our jobs up.
So basically, APSO is an umbrella body for all recruitment agencies?
It's basically all recruitment companies. And if you do not belong to APSO, then it's an issue. I'm not saying that there's no other federation or industry bodies. They're definitely there. But APSO is basically there to control and protect the job seekers as well.
So what are some of the questions like recruitment agencies before undertaking an overseas jobs?
Simphiwe, kuningi.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to overseas jobs. The first thing, the job posting itself. Which country does it belong in?
Yeah.
If the company that is recruiting is in India, just an example, it's also the job seeker's duty to make sure that they speak to the Indian Staffing Federation. Does that company really exist or not? If it doesn't exist, then that's a red flag on its own. Or sometimes, you can also check online. Go online, Google, because not us, the youth, we've got access to the internet. Sometimes we just don't use it the right way. But the best thing to do is that check with the recruitment company. Does this company really exist? If it does exist, check the reviews from the job seekers. What was the experience that they received from this specific recruitment company? So there's also those things that we can do, but it's just a lack of information and also the excitement that I've been contacted by an overseas office for a job.
Right. Yo, I've got so many questions, but let's leave it for now. Mbugeli, sisishiyele ngasetitolo, hlala kanye nathi siyabuya khona manje. Leli Yilungelo lakho. Every day, young South Africans scroll through hundreds and hundreds of job offers online, from cruise ship gigs to any kind of job to overseas scholarships. Kodwa kubukelekile ukuthi lokusithela imisebenzi ke overseas lobungoti botholakala ke usengotini yalobugebengu noma ke lokule bathi i-human trafficking.
Ayikho ngeke supposed yenzile. Into ezingaziyo kuba mhlambi for travelisha into esifana ne-passport ne-visa kuba information ngalo msebenzi uzayifumana kanjani andiyazi.
I'd start maybe with checking articles and that, because maybe like you can see, because with the TikTok thing there were already articles about the Russian company kidnapping people, so maybe you can do a bit. That's all I know. I really don't know a lot about foreign countries and that, or companies. I would look at people's past experiences, the reviews and all of that, see what they have to say.
Ndiyakwa Sipra ndiyojonga into yobana ngaba ngenyani na ba-registered. Okwesibini ndizobuza mhlawumbi noba ngubani nawo ofemelini yam okanye umntu odibene nezinto za-overseas, what are the policies ezi-required ukuba umntu aye overseas.
And I think the last viewer there, one of the policies required for you to move overseas. Maybe just continuing on some of the issues that you raised earlier on in terms of what questions we should be asking before undertaking an offer.
Simphiwe, the first thing immediately check, Ms. Msebenzi, especially if it's overseas. Look at the professional body. Who is the recruitment professional body in that specific country? We've got a lot of federations. Us in South Africa, it's APSO. In India, it's Indian Federation Staffing. In America, it's American Staffing. So every country has their own recruitment staffing federation. Yes. That's the first thing that you need to verify. Call them, don't be shy. Send them an email. Check and does this recruitment company really exist? Are they under a professional body? If they are not, already right there, that's a red flag.
Okay.
That's really a red flag. And the beautiful thing about working with organizations that are actually under a federation is because they facilitate, your contract. They facilitate, the negotiations of the contract. They also facilitate your visa applications. They also facilitate, your traveling, to basically go to that country. Other companies that do not do those things, just be wary. Be wary, be very, you must be on the way. You must be on the lookout for such things.
But then is it safe giving my information to those international or foreign recruitment agencies, even though they are legit, but should I really trust them?
You can trust it. You can trust them with the greatest of pleasure, but make sure that they do belong to a professional body.
Okay.
Which is why as industry bodies, in the recruitment space, we professionalize the industry just to make sure that the job seeker is protected.
Got you.
That's the main thing, is to protect the job seeker and also protecting the verified client who is actually recruiting for the job.
Okay. Now, Baba Mashaile, you early on bokhuluma identity theft, which as much as 11 million names and identities have been stolen. Ingabe bawatshontsha for what purpose? Ingabe to open accounts, noma to steal my information for what particular reason?
Simphiwe, bantshontsha amagama wabantu to commit crime. And commit crime like in opening up of fake fictitious accounts using your name, buying cars using your name. You and I and Zakhele have listened to people who have been taken to court by, I'll just mention one of those dead clothing shops many years ago, Sales House, if you remember it. If it's still there, I apologize, but and you receive, by then you receive a knock on the door, uyakweleta, utate shoes to the value of 2,000 rands, and you have never done that. It's happening even now. So the data breach, the theft of what we call personal identifiable information is for criminal purposes, Simphiwe. Logo kubonayo konke, it's aimed at one thing, to commit crime using someone else's identity. And if you ask me why, it's easier because for the police to give them tea and cake, it's difficult. It's difficult to track them online. Like I told you about the scam centers in India. There are thousands of them. When you don't know how to do these things, you will never be able to do that. Fortunately, in the International Cybersecurity and Investigations Committee that I'm a member of the executive thereof, we have people who are able to breach those who are breaching us, go into the systems of criminals and identify them online and know who they are and share that information with law enforcement agencies all over the world. So data theft is aimed at doing one thing, Simphiwe, to commit crime and to ensure that it is sold across many organized crime syndicates. Those that would be looking for runners, drug runners, like the lady we saw in at OR Tambo, transporting drugs, and the ones that have been arrested from Brazil at the Brazilian airport, and others right here at OR Tambo, not knowing what they were going to do, but having it found someone who professed love to our sister, our cousin, our younger sister, our older sister, and that particular person ultimately giving instructions to go and collect suitcases in Brazil for the purposes of selling them in South Africa, and or this man, like it happened in Northwest, telling this ex-teacher, this teacher, to leave her job and take a pension of 5 million, and the love and the love frequency having it gone high, and the energy vibrations, this woman giving the pin and the total security of that 5 million to this foreign national who disappeared today, Simphiwe. That woman in Northwest is crying like it's the end of the world. She's not the only one in South Africa. It comes as a result of scamming. It comes as a result of people who don't apply zero trust. Zero trust, Zakhele says, if you are in that country already and you get an opportunity to go outside, look for the South African embassy. Also look for DERCO here and say, DERCO, I want to go to this country. I'm not sure. This is a high-risk area. You can't be looking for a job in Gaza or looking for a job in Ukraine, because there are serious challenges going on. There's war going on. There's destruction going on. Where would you be working in Gaza? First identify. Are you going to go there as doing charity, working for a charity organization? Some of these transnational organized crime have presented themselves as charity organization, only to realize that they're going to be forced into forced labor as well as sexual abuse and sexual slavery.
So at what point then does the trafficking start? Asasisige, I'm going through the trap, sengiyafika ke airport of that particular foreign country, bayafika ke ne shuttle ke bayangithatha. At what point does that trafficking start? Or maybe what point does the person realize that, hey, I've been scammed, I've been trapped, or I've been trafficked?
After I demand and I take Zakes' passport, and I take your cell phone, and the two of you don't know each other, you're from different countries, and you find 3 other more people there, and you ask them when last did they speak to home, and they tell we don't talk, we don't call our homes, we are not allowed to go outside. When you realize that when you are chained on your bed and you are forced to take injections of drugs, you now realize that there's a problem here.
Sure.
And it's late by then, Simphiwe.
It would be so late, yeah. All right, I'm going to come to you, Zakhele, in just a moment. Mugele, let's now take another break. When we return, we'll hear more from some of the victims. When you get that job offer, ask yourself this question: is it really your dream job, or is it a trap that you'll never escape from? Well, before packing your bags, know that human traffickers and scammers are targeting young South Africans looking for a better life, and their situation is not isolated. Let's now hear from some of those that have traveled the road.
I met this agent called Virginia Mrithi from Gratify Solution Limited and Boniface Owino, who told me they had jobs in Thailand. The job was to work as a customer service in Thailand, Bangkok specifically. She told me to pay a certain amount of money, which was huge for me, but I had saved a little bit, and also I had sold cows that I had at home, and also borrowed money from friends and had a loan from someone which was having interest at the end of it.
ndafumana i-email from the guy osibizwa ngoJohn Thomas wandichazela kwi-email ukuthi ufumane iprofile yam through iPinhead. So kwiPinhead ndandenze ukuthi ndibe visible kuwo wonke ama-recruiters even outside South Africa. So wandichazela ngalo msebenzi ukuthi kufanele ndenze ntoni, and then ndafolisha yonke into abathi ebesithi ndiyenze, and then eventually, long story short, ndabona sendisento ndazifumana sendingapha eThailand, and then ngafika phaa eThailand zazikhona bonke abantu abazondihlangabeza kodwa wayengekho uJohn Thomas, and then ndahamba ndaya kuloo dolophu apho befanele ndiye khona, and xa ndifika ngapho it was something else, and then safosiwa ngamasoja ukuthi sicrosse from Thailand to Myanmar, and kulapho sazibona singaseMyanmar khona, and then became ama-victims khona, into ezininzi zayenzeka khona lapho. So ukuze ndiphume ngapho as a victim yale human trafficking, kodwa ndikhokhela i-ransom. So ndathi kuloo salary le bebezonikeza yona ndathi bayithathe yonke, and then I became stranded, and then eventually my only solution was to reach out through social media, and then isitori sami satrenda, and then ndanceda ngabantu bekwazi ukundinceda phaa social media.
I was trafficked from Bangkok forcefully to Myanmar for 12 good hours via the road. Even at some point, I crossed a river, very big river. I went through the forest for I to reach into that scamming compound. I didn't feel comfortable because I never imagined in my life I could do such kind of work. He took me to a room and told me frankly that you have come here to scam people and I have already bought you. At this compound, I really experienced a lot of things that were weird because there were more punishment, torture, that was mental torture and physical torture.
Gentlemen, maybe let's talk about the modus operandi nekuthi lama scammers yini tindledlana tsite lebatsebenzisako.
One of the ways, one of the methods that they use is to offer you a job offer like we have listened.
Yeah.
Upon arrival, the job that you were offered is not the job that you were that you had gone over there for. You are now forced into sexual slavery. You are an 18-year-old young lady or a 22-year-old lady. You are forced into a room, forced to take consume drugs, and forced to sleep with more than 50 guys. Like we have some time back, I think it was 2011, 2012, 2013, here in Kempton Park, found a young kid of about 14, 15, who had gone to visit someone over there, here, Kempton Park, next to our town. We listened to a very harrowing story of this young lady sleeping with 50 men per day, and the money going to the pimp, a foreign national, who wanted to talk to me and the provincial commissioner of Gauteng by then, and the head of the Hawks Penning Tlemeza by then. It really broke my heart to see that young girl being dazed in there because of the effects of cocaine that they were forcing on this lady. These are some of the methods that they keep you subdued, that they keep you under pressure. And remember, this was just home, or having it gone to visit. Now, if it's overseas and you are there and there's no assistance that will come through, you don't have food, you have to pay for the food, you have to make sure that the scammer or the trafficker makes more money other than what he has originally acquired you for, which is sexual slavery. You'd still be forced to go and work on the farms in that part of the land. I'm grateful to our government, Derko, for getting the 22 people out of Thailand back into South Africa some few months back.
So now khuluma nge-14-year-old girl, ingabe what is it that they use to lure or to trap that girl? Ngoba ukhuluma ngithi bamdragile. So what are some of the carrots that they dangled in front of them?
This young lady was from Soweto. This young lady received a call from one of her friends who used to live in the area. That young lady now, the caller, the recruiter, and now lives in Kempton Park. The recruiter phoned the victim to say, come and visit over the school holidays. The guest did not tell the parents where she was going exactly at Kempton Park. That's how the parents lost track and trace of the little daughter. And the little daughter, when she arrived there was a group of them that I actually saw with my own eyes. Some of them tied to the bed. It was a house this size, this big, Simphiwe, divided into many rooms. There were mattresses on the ground. Divisions were done by curtains. There was a lot of condoms on the ground. And I can imagine for a young little lady who would not know what is happening, and for no one, when you realize that no one is coming to save me, that pressure, that psychological trauma, and many of these things. So this is how it happens. You get given a few $1,000, 5,000 or 10,000. You think that it's the beginning of a new lifestyle, and you go over to Brazil only to realize that you're not going to get the Brazilian hair as well as those suitcases and the books. You are now going to go to Mexico for something else other than what you had gone down there for.
Sure. Hi, Mbukela sishiye lapho ke. Let's take another ad break. Asihlangane futhi nasibuya etitolo. Welcome back everybody. Khumbula ke Mbukela ukuthi incingo tethu lesativuliwe ukuthi nawe ungaba ingcenye yenkulumo yethu namhla ungashaya icingo khona manje la e-studio ku-011 714 0671 noma ke 011 714 0672 or send us a WhatsApp to 060 844 9857. Ungasithumela futhi ne-email ku-consumer@sabc.co.za noma ke usithinze ku-Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, kukhona ke lo sathole umsebenzi eCanada. She's actually on her way there. Utasichaza abantu ke ukuthi ingabe uthole kanjalo umsebenzi, inhloboni yemsebenzi, nekuthi ke wasebenzisa i-recruitment agency, and I do understand that she's actually en route to Canada right now. Let me welcome Kgothatso on the line. Kgothatso, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome. Kgothatso, good afternoon. Kgothatso, please do indicate if you can hear me. We'll try to re-establish connection with her in just a moment. But in a nutshell, she's one of those ladies who's actually watching this program, and she wants to share her story about how she got that job in Canada, who was responsible for it, who assisted her, and whether it's a legit job or not, and what industry that particular job that she got is in. And speaking of that industry, I want us to delve deeper into what are some of the popular industries. I know that the most popular one are cruise ships, but which are some of the industries that are really, popular according to your stats as a recruitment agency?
Well, you look at, there's green jobs, more jobs in the just transition, renewable energy, agriculture. So those are green jobs, which is jobs for the future.
Okay.
Then you get jobs in the IT side, which is your cybersecurity, data science, and also computer science as well. And then you also get in beauty therapies and wellness. Wellness is becoming one of the biggest things now. And this is where all these scams are taking place. And this is why I always say it is very, very vital for you to check, does that recruitment company belong to any federation that is responsible for staffing in that respective country? Like South Africa, I'm going to bring it back home. In South Africa, we've got about 3,400 recruitment companies.
Okay.
But guess what? Only plus minus 700 that are professionalized and belong to an industry body.
What?
Yes. Out of 3,400, only plus minus 700 that belongs. They are reputable, representing verified clients, and also making sure that they post verified positions.
I wonder if South Africans are aware of this, because if you think of a recruitment agency, you automatically think that it's a legit institution.
And another thing that I also need to mention, Simphiwe, it's so sad because these scammers or these human traffickers, they basically exploit the vulnerable. For me, the first red flag, once someone asks you to pay for a job application, run away. Recruitment companies are supposed to be billing a client that they are working with to basically place Simphiwe.
So they make
Not
money
me.
by billing the client,
They
not
bill the
necessarily
client,
from the
not
applicant.
not the applicant.
Okay.
So whenever an applicant, whenever a recruitment company asks you to pay for a job, run away. Don't even look back, run away.
Right, right. So what have you observed by Mashaile in terms of such, the illegitimate or illegal recruitment agencies as a conduit for human trafficking?
Very high in number, looking very professional with fake websites, with fake offices, the rented offices, and earlier on we were talking to Zakhele. The buildings that are in town that are used for the recruitment purposes are a problem to the people of our country. So if you are watching this program and you are using that building for criminal purposes, law enforcement slowly will come for you. And people must understand very clear and very well, we are not negotiating the safety and security of South Africans, particularly young women, particularly young men who wants to start a future in around the world where there is better remuneration, where there are better packages, Simphiwe. So these are some of the things. The last point that I want to make with regard to that question, security is at the back burner, at the back of our minds. We are not security conscious. When we drive out of the building here, we just trust that there's no one who's going to be waiting by the robots there when you go out. We are just South Africans, nje, Simphiwe. When it comes to security, Lakho. And I want to say, from a security point of view, there is no such thing as 100% security. As long as there's a human being involved in cyber security, in asset protection, all over the show, a human being can collapse a big bank like Barings Bank. You remember the story of a certain Mr. McLeeson, not the football. You remember he brought the bank down. He was a trusted gentleman and he was messing up with security system. So, we line ya security strategy advising when Simphiwe. Ngicala ngithi zero trust, you don't trust anyone.
True.
Now Pumala, you must first make sure lo muntu bathi uyakufona ubani, does he know you? If he doesn't know you, if he knows you, he must give you a call. Even if you are inside the house, as long as he's at the gate, there's a barrier. Itshela lo muntu angifonela. Askabulelo angavulelwa nje angena kanti umuntu uzokudubula mfowethu. Uzofuna ilawyer and then adubule ilawyer kuma office wayo edrobheni during the day. So if someone is looking for you, Simphiwe, even if it's Andy and you don't know ukuthi uzofunani, don't open for it.
Now, Zakhele, he did mention earlier on some of the buildings that are used for criminal activities, especially the CBDs. Building, should it be one of the red flags that should count as, as possibly an illegitimate scam?
It's essentially in twofold. There's also new recruitment companies that are coming to the country, new entrepreneurs that are basically have passion in the recruitment industry. And they'll basically have, AMA offices in town.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you look at these things as dilapidated buildings with no electricity, and you get in there, and there's just a line of our youth standing there. But do they ask? Do they check? Even, where are your registration documents?
Oh, okay.
Where are the company's registration documents? When there's registration documents, let's check, does this thing belong to a professional body? And I'm gonna keep on repeating the professional body, because this is why we are here, to protect job seekers.
Absolutely.
But youth doesn't even check that. They don't even check that. I'm gonna give you a classic example. Actually, I was actually laughing this morning. This morning, I actually get a message from, I don't know from where. And this person is offering me a job overseas. And I was like, maybe this is just a test. But you know what I did? I first started checking, who is this company? I went online. I did not find them online. Right there, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag, yeah.
Then I went and checked, is this person registered on CIPC?
Yes.
I did not find it. Thirdly, let me check the reviews of this person that is actually offering me a job. And I could see the reviews. Some of the reviews were not promising. They were not good. So these are the things that you need to check. I know the unemployment rate is hectic. We're all vulnerable, to employment right now. But just check. It's very important. Yilungelo Lakho ukcheck kuqala before you're born. And I'm really, I want the youth to understand this. Ilungelo lakho ukuchecka kuqala before uhambe ku-interview.
Right. Sendivile ke bekunene lungelo lakho lekuhlola ungakayi ku-interview ukuthi ke labantu laba banesiciniseko yini ekutheni batakunika lo kufunako. For now, let's take a final ad break mbukela sihlangane futhi nasibuya titolo. Leli lungelo lakho. To a very final segment sakuba futhi nenzaba yethu namhla ke njengoba besengishito ke phambilini ke ukhona ke Khothatso, a South African lady who just got a job in Canada. Utasichazela kabanti ukuthi uthole kanjani lo msebenzi inhloboni yemsebenzi nekuthi ke uthole through a recruitment agency noma utitholele yena ke. She's now on the line. A very good afternoon to you, Khothatso. Welcome to Yilungelo Lakho. Khothatso, good afternoon and welcome.
Hello. So I'm Khothatso. I'm based in Johannesburg. So I got a job in Canada recently, and I applied via a recruitment agency. I had the interview with the hospital, I'm in health, and obviously the interview was online. So I wanted also to find out if I'm safe. So these are the due diligence that I did. I checked if the agency was registered with the regulatory body of Canada, which is called the CICC, and I had to pay also a fee with the agency for my visa application by
So hang on, you paid a fee to the agency. Khothatso, are you there? Okay, first of all, we do apologize for the line dropping, and we also apologize for the poor sound quality. But at least I think we got a gist of Khothatso's story. Utsege, she got a job in Canada. She got a job as a nurse, I understand, in a hospital, because we're just chatting to her off camera. But again, back to your point, Utsi, she was made to pay a fee to the recruitment agency. That's a red flag.
For me, if it's a fee for the application of a visa, companies work differently, okay? They work differently. Sometimes they'll say, okay, cool, we'll meet each other halfway, you know? It's basically a match payment. We'll pay this much and we'll pay that much. But mostly, when it comes to visa application, the client takes care of that. Us as recruitment companies, working with a reputable recruitment company, is for us to make sure that we facilitate that process with the client, not the candidate. Understand? So for me, in a way, that's a red flag. I'll be very honest with you. On top of that,
No, but also upatele agency. Well, she didn't mention my visa.
and I'm going to say this, paying an agency is a serious red flag, Simphiwe. It's a serious red flag. Agency is not supposed to be taking any money from the recruitment company. Agency is supposed to be billing the client who they work with to basically bring Khothatso to work with.
Yeah.
Understand? So for me, the fact that they've asked Ulona, they've asked Khothatso to pay for a visa application, already that on its own is a problem. Actually, next year we've got the World Employment Conference. It was actually in South Africa this year. Next year it's in Canada. So we are hosted by the Canadian, Staffing Federation. And if Khothatso is watching, please, can she just go to the Canadian Staffing Federation to check if that specific recruitment company is legit or not?
Okay.
Yes.
So you wouldn't advise her to take this job
For
offer?
me, she can even take my numbers on the side.
Yeah.
I'm willing to assist. Because these are the things that, there's no knowledge that is given to people.
Yeah.
And I always say to the youth, if you don't know your right when it comes to recruitment, just go to APSO, www.apso.co.za. Check exactly, things are there. The regulations, the ethics, the standards, it's all in there.
Yeah. All right, Khothatso, ngiyatsemba ke ukuthi uyabukela. Nangabe uyabukela ke, please do get in touch with us again, and I guess we'll connect you with the APSO chairperson, Mr. Mgobhozi, who will link you with the rightful people. But
Yes,
for now, let's take another caller. Sina Sipho Ulapha Newcastle. A very good afternoon to you, Sabungwe.
Good afternoon. My name is Sipho Kumalo from Tannhauser. Actually, I'm in Tannhauser, but Tannhauser is under Newcastle. My question is, what the government do according to this human trafficking, because always we saw the people taken from South Africa to outside the country.
Okay, so ubuta ke umsebenzi wahulumende in curbing human trafficking.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Baba Sipho Khumalo sabonga kakhulu kusishayela. Thank you so much for your call. Ubuta ke umsebenzi wahulumende in curbing this scourge.
Government has shown that it has the will and the capacity to rescue those who are victims of human trafficking. I'm starting at the end, back to front. When it comes to preventing human trafficking, it's a serious challenge. Let us call into question the issue of Jocelyn Smith.
Yes.
The mother selling their little daughter for 20,000. We saw that in court. This is public knowledge and public information. So government will not know when I sell my little boy, Uthato. Nangena nae lana Simphiwe, you think here's a father who's brought the son to come and see what happens here, only to find that I'm going to drop this young boy off at Rivonia Boulevard, where you find 8-year-old girl who came from the Philippines. I used to have pictures. I will check for them and I'll share them with you. Yeah. This 8-year girl was taken from the Philippines, dropped off at Rivonia Boulevard. There are some spa shops there, your massage palace, that kind of stuff. What does an 8-year-old do at a massage palace? So we will not know, government will not know, the people of South Africa will not know when someone is going to be a victim to can inform government to say, take steps. Mashaile is selling his son or her daughter to human trafficking syndicates. Most of the time, people realize a day or 2 or 3 after the incident. So I'm advising one and all, Simphiwe, the community, to Abu Baba's Zakhele, when things are off, and our brother who's producing at the back, when things are off, we must ask questions. What's going on? Why is there a serious activity kulea charity leyana? Kungena kuyapitizelo kwenzakalani, so that we can then be able to rescue little ones who might be found at the back of the truck, who were trafficked from Malawi to Northwest, and we intercepted them. We, meaning South Africa, intercepted them. South African policing services.
But then what's the role of embassies in those foreign countries? Should we contact the embassies to verify the legitimacy of a particular job offer?
I would do that from a security point of view and from a crime prevention point of view. From insulating myself, I would find out from the embassy if that company exists, that company exists, the board members, are they in one way or the other having some criminal records? What kind of criminal records would those be? What have they done? I'm going to look at what is happening in America. The guys who are taking to one of our brothers over there, and they found that some of the people have criminal records who have been recruiting for some of the celebrities overseas. So these are some of the things that should be a red flag. And most importantly, I like Zakhele's association or organization. Verify here, that's the first step.
Important.
Verify with DERCO, verify with the international organization. Check the profile, the background of the people. Obviously, having it been involved with law enforcement, I would want to check your profile, your background, to know who you are, where you come from.
Okay, so you've got so much information at your disposal. You've got so many options. Contact the recruitment agency here. Contact the recruitment agency internationally, and as well as the industry bodies. Contact DERCO. Contact the embassy before you sign on the dotted line and before you make the decision whether you take that offer or not. She's still on the line with us. Khuthatso, a very good afternoon to you. Unfortunately, we got cut off. You're just taking us through whether you did pay a fee to this particular recruitment agency. Was it relating to a visa or admin fees for that institution or for that agency?
So it was regarding my visa. It was a visa fee. So it was for my visa application, my biometrics, and my permit to be registered with the body in Canada.
Okay, now we've got the APSO chairperson. APSO is the umbrella body for all the recruitment agencies. He's here with us, Zakhele Mgobhozi, so he's going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
Kutato, thank you for joining us, sis. I just want to verify, Gwena, Ugut, did you check first, the first thing I want to ask, when you check this recruitment company, did you check with the Federation of Staffing Organizations within that specific country, within Canada, if that recruitment company is legit? Have you checked that?
I did check. So I did check with the CICT, which is the Canada Immigrants Council, if the recruitment agency is registered in Canada.
Is registered in Canada. Can I also just ask you to do something, please, before you proceed any further? Can you also just check with the Canadian Staffing Federation?
Okay.
Yeah, if they are legit, because remember that the reason why all these federations are actually there is to protect you as a job seeker from such things, from human trafficking, potential human trafficking, and the vulnerability of exploitation. That is why, you know, we have such industry bodies to protect you. So just check that, you know, because sometimes you find that, you know, when you apply for a job overseas, everything is basically administered by the client that you are going to work for. Remember why I'm saying it's a client, from a recruitment to the client, we'll call it a client because we basically, as staffing professionals, we facilitate that process between us and the client, and then we basically rope you in towards the end when we've verified everything on our side. So that is why I'm a bit, you know, I'm a bit confused, you know, good, and you have to basically now start putting money to pay for my visas and things like that. Just verify, please, sis.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. But Kutato, I'm going to link you back to our producers, you know, off camera, so that they can link you with Mr. Mgobhozi, who will share the details and the numbers of every institution that you need to get in touch with. So thank you so much for chatting to us, Kutato. All the best, hey? Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I was like, hey, it's just new cards, man. I know there's so many questions, right? There's so many questions. In fact, we need a follow-up discussion on this because it is a rising phenomenon and we're losing our brothers and sisters to this scourge. But thank you so much for your insights and for sharing your time with us.
Maybe simply as a
Just
parting,
briefly,
as a parting shot, we need to track with DERCO what happened to the $144,000 still victims of human trafficking. We might get the follow-up stories to this.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll get in touch with DERCO as well. Kwanye lokho mbukeli sesifike emaphethelweni ehlelo lethu namhla ngithi ke ngibonge ivakashi lethu ngesikhathi sabo. Ngithanda ngibonga kanye nyani babukeli kuze kube manje. Asihlangana futhi ke eviki letako lapho sabe silethela ke lenye indzaba letawutsinza nine nemalungelo eni njengebathengi. From me Simphiwe Ncongwane and the rest of the team sesinisale kahle and wishing you a great week ahead. Cheers.
Yilungelo